والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد. Alhamdulillah, I was asked to give the talk today about the verse of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Before I begin with this topic, I'd like to just preface it with the fact that the right that we're going to discuss today, or the right that is due upon us, is one of the most important rights due upon you after the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be worshipped alone. And if you fulfill this right, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will open blessings upon you in this world, and He will reward you in ways that you can't imagine in the akhirah, in the afterlife as well. And it's a right that if you fulfill, Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu said, I don't know of any way to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than by doing what it is we're going to speak about today. And it's something that if you do it, not only will you get this close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it does not require you, number one, to have a lot of knowledge. You don't have to be a scholar. It could be your first day as a Muslim, and you can do this better than somebody who's been Muslim their whole life. In addition to that, you don't have to have money. You don't even have to have a house in order to do what we're going to talk about today. You don't have to have strength. You just have to have the sincerity and desire to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is the right of our parents. Well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Your Lord has decreed that you shall worship no one other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that you must be excellent to your parents. And when we look in the Quran and we read the verses about the prophets, one of the main characteristics we see amongst them is how good they were to their parents. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about Yahya, He says, وَبَرًّا بِوَالِدَيْهِ وَلَمْ يَكُنْ جَبَّارًا شَقِيًّا. He was righteous and excellent with his parents, and he wasn't a disobedient, miserable person to his parents. Isa alayhi salam, when he spoke from the cradle, he said, وَبَرًّا بِوَالِدَتِي وَلَمْ يَجْعَلْنِي جَبَّارًا عَصِيًّا. He has made me good to my mother, meaning Allah has made me righteous to my mother, and He did not make me someone who's tyrannical and disobedient to my mother. Nuh alayhi salam, when he made dua at the end of Surah Nuh, he said, رَبِّ اغْفِرْ لِي وَلِوَالِدَيْ. Oh Allah, forgive me and forgive my parents. Sulaiman alayhi salam in Surah An-Naml, when he saw the blessings Allah has given him, it wasn't enough to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his own blessings. He wanted to thank Allah for his parents' blessings also. So he said, رَبِّ أَوْزِعْنِي أَنْ أَشْكُرَ نِعْمَتَكَ الَّتِي أَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيَّ وَعَلَى وَالِدَيَّ. Oh Allah, give me the ability to thank you for the blessings that you've given me and the blessings that you've given my parents. Many more examples. Yusuf alayhi salam, when his parents came from the deserts, they were Bedouins, and he was living in Egypt. One of the most important positions in Egypt, the most advanced civilization of his time, and his parents are coming from the desert. Bedouins, how did he treat them? Did he get embarrassed that his parents are coming from the desert and I'm the Aziz, I'm one of the most important people in Egypt? No. وَرَفَعَ أَبَوَيْهِ عَلَى الْعَرْشِ. He took his parents and he put them upon the throne as soon as they stepped into Egypt to honor them. And you might be thinking, you know, these are prophets, their parents were prophets. It's easy for them to be good to their parents. My parents are not like this. Well, I can guarantee you that your parents were not as bad as the father of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Ibrahim loved Allah more than any one of us can love Allah. And he hated shirk and disbelief more than any one of us can hate shirk and disbelief. But what did his father Azar used to do? His father Azar, not only did he used to worship idols, but he used to build the idols with his own hands. And he used to invite the people to come worship the idols, and he used to sell the idols and make money from selling the idols. So darkness upon darkness upon darkness. This was the father of Ibrahim. How did Ibrahim approach it? How would we approach one of our fathers in this situation? If our fathers do something much less, maybe they bought a house on interest and we don't agree, maybe they smoke cigarettes, maybe they sell alcohol or other prohibited things, we go, we get aggressive, we start yelling and cursing. Look how bad the father of Ibrahim alayhi salam was, and how did Ibrahim speak to him? Ya Abed, oh my beloved father. Read the verses in Surah Maryam. Oh my beloved father, why are you worshipping something that can't see, it can't hear, and it can't help you in any way? Oh my beloved father, some knowledge has come to me that hasn't come to you, so follow me so I can guide you. every verse begins with Ya Abati, oh my beloved father. And what was his father doing? The worst sin anyone can imagine. How did his father respond back to him? He said, قَالَ أَرَاغِبٌ أَنْتَ عَنْ آلِهَتِي يَا إِبْرَاهِيمُ. Are you desiring other than my gods, O Ibrahim? My gods are not good enough for you? لَإِن لَمْ تَنْتَهِ لَأَرْجُمَنَّكَ وَهْجُرْنِي مَلِيًّا. He said, if you don't stop telling me to stop worshiping these idols, I'm going to not only kill you, he said, I'm going to stone you and get away from me completely. Azar has the best son anyone can imagine having. Who wouldn't want to have a son like Ibrahim, to make dua for him, to guide him? And look at the way he treated his son. How would any one of us respond when we're trying to help our parents and they speak to us in this way? We'd probably get aggressive and say, you know what, it's my fault I tried to help you. Why am I wasting my time with you? Ibrahim, and this is why he was a prophet, turned away and he said, Salamun alayk, peace be upon you, my father. I wish you peace. I pray peace for you. سأستغفر لك ربي. I'm going to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive you for what you did. And this is true righteousness, especially when the parents are trying hard to get you to do something haram and you maintain that relationship where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِن جَاهَدَاكَ عَلَىٰ أَن تُشْرِكَ بِمَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٌ فَلَا تُطِعْهُمَا. If they try their best, your parents, to get you to worship other than Allah, they want you to commit kufr and leave your religion. They're not asking you to do something of a minor sin. They're not asking you to smoke a cigarette. They're not asking you to have a mixed wedding. They're asking you to leave your religion. How should you respond back? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, don't obey them. That's it? Should I not obey them and then yell at them? No. وَصَاحِبْهُمَا فِي الدُّنْيَا مَعْرُوفًا. And continue to accompany them in this worldly life in a good way, even when they're trying to get you to leave the religion of Islam. And we see the importance of our parents. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows how important they are. And He combined the most important act or command is what? To worship Allah alone. He combined with that being good to your parents when He said, وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Your Lord has decreed that you should worship no other than Allah, and that you must be excellent to your parents. These two commands were put next to each other to show you how important our parents are. And that's not all. The worst sin is what? Shirk. It's also put next to being bad to your parents. When the Prophet ﷺ said, أَلَا أُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِأَكْبَرِ الْكَبَائِرِ. Do you want me to tell you about the most major of the major sins? Meaning not just the major sins, but the worst major sins. They said yes. He said, Al-Ishraku Billah, which is worshipping other than Allah, وَعُقُوقِ الْوَالِدَيْنِ, and being disobedient and bad to your parents. So it's not just from the top 10, it's from the top 5, right next to shirk. And in addition to that, being grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is also joined with being grateful to your parents. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَاشْكُرْ لِي وَلِوَالِدَيْكَ, be thankful to me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and be thankful to your parents as well. And Ibn Mas'ud said, radiallahu anhu, whoever is thankful to Allah, but he is not thankful to his parents, he is not really thankful. He's a phony. If you're thankful to Allah and you're not thankful to your parents, you are not really a thankful person. So we see the most important command of Tawheed, worshiping Allah alone, put with the most important command of our parents, of to be good to our parents. The worst sin combined with being bad to our parents. Worship or thanking Allah being combined with thanking our parents. What else? Even the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His anger are directly correlated with the anger and the pleasure of your parents with you. When the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, رِضَى الرَّبِّ فِي رِضَى الْوَالِدَيْنِ وَسَخَطَ الرَّبِّ فِي سَخَطِ الْوَالِدَيْنِ. The pleasure and happiness of Allah is in the pleasure and the happiness of your parents with you. And the anger, with the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with the anger of your parents with you. So all you gotta do is make sure you're taking care of your mandatory worships, you're praying, your Ramadan, and avoiding the major sins, and be good to your parents, and you know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is happy with you. Look how easy and beautiful our religion is. You're not being asked to build 100 masajid, or to bring 1,000 people to Islam, or to memorize the books of hadith and memorize the whole Quran for Allah to be happy with you. You can do, as a matter of fact, all of those things and be bad to your parents, and they don't like you, they're angry with you, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is still angry with you. So if you want to go to sleep at night and know that you're going to sleep with the happiness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make sure that your parents are happy with you as well. This is one of the easiest ways to tell, and this is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He's made it so easy for us to gain His happiness. Wallahi, many of us, if we work for a company, and we know that the owner of the company is upset with us, we wouldn't be able to enjoy one meal at lunch. We wouldn't be able to laugh at one joke. We wouldn't be able to think about anything except for the fact my boss is angry with me. What am I going to do? Some people go to psychologists or psychiatrists when their boss looks at them in a bad way. And the opposite, if you knew that your boss is happy with you, nothing would bother you. You'd feel so comfortable at work, you would enjoy every second of being at work because you know your boss is happy with you. What about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, knowing that He's happy with you? The one who controls everything that happens, the one who controls the heartbeat of your boss. How do you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is happy with you? Making sure that your parents are happy with you as well. This is why we see narrations about the Sahabi. 10:05 or? Okay, Jazakallah khair. We see some narrations about the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. We think these are make-believe stories, but they're not. It's because they knew the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and His anger are with the parents. When Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, his mother called him one day and she said, Ya Abu Hurairah, oh Abu Hurairah, she wanted to ask him to do something maybe. So Abu Hurairah, being the good son that he is, stood up and he said, Labbaiki, oh my mother, I'm at your command. That's what it means to say Labbaiki. I'm at your command. Whatever it is you want me to do, I'll do it. But he noticed that he was louder than his mother when he responded back to her. This made him so regretful that he sat down, he made istighfar, and he made tawbah to Allah for being louder to his mother and saying Labbaiki, I'm at your command. That's all he was saying. And then he went to the market and he bought 3 slaves and he set them free. To show Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala how regretful he was when he said, oh my mother, whatever you want, I'm here, louder than her. Imagine, what would Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu do if he was sitting in my living room or your living room and one of our parents called us and they said, come and do this thing for me. And maybe we were reading the Quran and we said, what? Don't you see that I'm reading the Quran? Don't you see that I'm doing my homework? Don't you see that I'm playing this video game? Don't you see that I'm on the phone? Or when our parents called us once, ignore it. 2, ignore it. Then the 3rd time we pick up, what? Can't you see that I'm busy? Otherwise I would have answered the first time. What would Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu do? Or what would he think if he saw us doing that when he himself was regretful just because he was louder than his mother when he said, oh my mother, I'm here for you. Subhanallah. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفْ. Don't even say uff to your parents. And in the Arabic language, there is no way to display any less sense of dissatisfaction than to say the word uff. Meaning it's the slightest expression of being unhappy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, don't even say that. And saying uff to your parents when they ask you to do something, it doesn't mean here that you're not doing it. It means your parents ask you to do something and you do it. But you say, oh, okay. It doesn't even mean that you're not doing it, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, don't even do that. وَلَا تَنْهَرْهُمَا. And don't speak bad words to them. So how should I speak to them? وَقُلْ لَهُمَا قَوْلًا كَرِيمًا. Speak to them in the most honorable way. Speak to them like they're kings. Speak to them like you're the slave and they're the master. This is what Hassan al-Basri said. He said, أَرَأَيْتَ كَيْفَ يَكُونُ الْعَبْدُ عِنْدَ سَيِّدٍ. Do you see how the slave acts when he's around his master? They said, yes. He said, كُنْ كَذَلِكَ عِنْدَ وَالِدِكَ. Be like that when you're around your parents. Act like you're a servant or a slave standing next to his master. So we need to make the commitment, and inshallah we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us, to allow us and our money from now on to become servants of our parents. Me and my money and everything I have is a servant for my parents. This is how you have to look at it, especially the mother, the one who when the Prophet ﷺ was asked, who is the most deserving of my good companionship? He said, Ummuk, your mother. And then the person asked, okay, who after that? I deal with a lot of people. I have business partners, I have teachers, I have students, I have friends. Who deserves my companionships the best? He said, then your mother. And then who after that? And then your mother. ثُمَّ مَنْ. Then who, O Prophet of Allah? Then your father, then whoever is related to you after that. What this means, brothers, is that if you come home from work and you have just 5 minutes before you're going to fall asleep, and your kids want to talk to you, your wife wants to talk to you, your friends want to talk to you, and your mother wants to talk to you, and you're going to fall asleep, you're tired, you speak to your mother for those 5 minutes. If you have $5 in your pocket and everyone in the house is asking you to buy something on the way home, including your mother, you make sure the first dollar you spend is for your mother. When you have 1% on your phone, it's gonna die, and I have 5 missed calls. One of them is my mother. I make sure my mother is the first one that I call. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the ability to be excellent to our parents. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us and to forgive our parents and to grant us children who will be the comfort of our eyes. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. جزاكم الله خيرا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.